Welcome back to Lucore Automotive Services. Today we are, well, I am done running around Florida jet skiing, so it's time to get back to work. We decided to get this big black lifted Excursion in that I picked up last year to do an engine swap in, and time would have it, we are fitting it in and getting it done. I've already built an engine. It's sitting on the floor over there. We're going to drop it into this thing and see if we can bring this old beast back to life. This thing is a gorgeous 2003 rust-free 4x4. Looks to have maybe a 6-inch lift on it and big tires and wheels. And once we get it all sorted out, it'll make somebody really happy to have another one of these Excursions running around. These things do have a bit of a cult following, and when you can find one that's rust-free and four-wheel drive and diesel-powered, and you tow a boat or a camper, there's really nothing better than these to tote them around with. So we're gonna get to work getting the engine out of this thing. Here's the video. Click like, subscribe, leave us a comment below. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Now we get to play the game of what did we forget?
What did I forget?
Well, guiding you.
Right, what did you forget?
See where I put the jack stand. It's just to support the transmission. As we raise the engine, we will reposition it a little bit to hold it in place. But as long as you took out all the nuts and bolts I told you to take out, it should be fine.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping. It's not a problem for me to just get right under it and go fix it real quick. It's just mildly embarrassing.
It's okay, it happens to everyone. Can you bump the engine up just a hair more? Not quite off the...
I'll just give it a tap.
Give it a tap, bring it up.
Make sure it gets the right circle.
Oh, there you go. Hey, your nuts fell out. Bump it up a little more. Okay, good. Block on the transmission. You'll have to put that back
my block on the...
Oh, on the exhaust?
Yeah.
Can you throw a jack or something under the exhaust? Push it, and I'll tell you, just have you push it up. I think the big exhaust is hindering our ability for room. It's fighting us for space. Getting into your work. I think the bigger exhaust downpipe is going to make us have to take the up pipes off, but we'll try it.
This is as hard as I can get the exhaust pipe together.
Go ahead and grab me a 10 and a 13 so I can separate the up pipes.
Ratchet or drill?
Probably just wrenches, because I don't think I'm going to be able to get an impact in there. Oh, you don't have a 13 over here either. 13s and 10s are tough for a GM mechanic. Just saying. Hey, that's what I was looking for. Should have just bodied off it. That's all right. Serve it?
It feels like it. Yeah.
So, get the torch. So it's probably loose. You might be able to figure it out. Now, this engine only has 446,000 miles on it. Be interested to see what kind of wear it has in it. I think it dropped the valve. Hey, you got it! Winning! Alright. Back, and now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Sorry for the delay.
And gravity kicked in again. That's the trick. Got to pull off the driver's side valve cover and the passenger side lifting bracket. And have the right tools. Oh, I just stuck my hand in the slop.
I feel like if this thing falls back in, we're all going home.
Well, if it falls back in, it's a part out. Can you pull that A-frame forward a little bit? Yep.
You want a little more?
Bring it this way, guys. That'll do.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
That'll do, donkey. That'll do. Way to go, Caleb. Now you get to put it back together. Oh, crap.
Like, really? Do I have to?
It's never going to run again. All right. Pull the other valve cover off. Pull the high pressure rails. Pull all 8 injectors out.
Okay.
Look at a whiteboard. Write it down. Yeah, I would strip this down to what that one is, plus getting the injectors out of it, because we're using these injectors. Because these injectors were new right before this engine failed. Well, what happened was you had an injector that overfueled and washed the piston apart, and then it blew the cylinder apart. So we'll see what kind of damage it has when we get it apart.
You want these labels as well?
I don't need those labeled. Just grab a box and throw everything into it. We'll clean it and then I'll sort them out afterwards. I'm guessing that this engine is going to be a donor for front cover, rear cover, exhaust manifolds, and rocker housings and hardware, because hardware sometimes just adds up, gets expensive. So you save it. I'm pretty sure this block's trash, so. And maybe one head, but we'll find out here soon enough. There's a crank sensor. Not easy to get to when it's in the car. That should be our last connector for our main harness. So when I pull them out, I'm always looking at the tips. One is to make sure the copper gasket is there. I'm also looking to make sure the copper gasket is sealing correctly, because you'll see black carbon coming up onto this tip. And sometimes when you see black carbon up here, when you take it apart, another reason you're taking it apart by hand is you're able to feel that it's torqued correctly. Because if it comes apart loose, you're like, oh, and then you take it apart and there's black carbon up here, the injector was not installed correctly, it was torqued properly. So these are things as you're disassembling that tell you things about the engine, so that you don't, right, so that you know more about it as a whole when you're. So I haven't seen any damaged tips, I haven't seen any missing parts, and I haven't seen any blow-by of any kind that's detrimental, so this side looks good. I haven't seen any valve springs that are distorted or bridges that are
No two-piece
funny
valves.
looking. Yeah, no two-piece valve stems yet. But I seriously think we're gonna find a head of a valve that's broken off, but we won't know that until we get down into it.
Are those all the same size intake and exhaust on this?
Yeah, they're all symmetric. They were installed correctly. It was taken apart before. The top is gold and the bottoms are chrome. It's like an anodized finish of some sort. Those will probably end up in the scrap bin. All right, so zip off your 5 top bolts, and then that head will pop off. We'll do the same on the other side, and we'll see what, if any, carnage is in there. Haven't seen anything nasty in the oil yet, which is a good sign. So now you grab it, give it a wiggle, and dump coolant all over Jeff.
Does this still make me the messy guy in the shop, or?
Yes, this makes you the messy guy in the shop.
Yeah, you trumped Austin.
just alone.
Really? That's 80 pounds plus a 40-pound exhaust manifold. So sometimes I recommend putting a head bolt in until you get it completely free. That way you don't drop it on your toes. We don't like flat toes in this shop. That's fine. That's all you need is a few threads. It's just on an O-ring. There you go. Oh, winning. Yep, take her out. When it stops, creaks, and gets tighter, that's when you would worry. Part of that Lucore Automotive workout program. All over your toes. No, you're fine. The head gasket's still sticking. Alright, walk over here. Ooh, it ate something.
Got the carnage cylinder.
Back cylinder number 8. Looks like it did. Heck, it doesn't look bad at all. It's just moisture making me think it was bad.
So no smoking gun yet.
No. Because you heard it when it was cranking over. It sounded, it had that breathing out the intake sound.
Yep.
Very interesting. Yeah, I'm surprised there's no major carnage in that engine. Good to know.
Would a collapsed lifter give that scenario?
A collapsed lifter wouldn't allow a valve to open, so I wouldn't think it would be breathing back through the intake. I don't know. It was diagnosed as needing an engine after the injectors were replaced and developed an engine noise. So I thought I was going to find a damaged something. Now, here's the kicker. The last time we had a situation like this, we did a head job on an engine and it looked just like this. And the piston was fractured and crumbling from the bottom side. So we can roll this over and look at the cylinder walls and see if there's damage on the cylinder walls. But honestly, let's lift it up, let's drain the oil, pull the oil pan, and that'll tell us what's going on the bottom end of the engine. And then we can have closure on this chapter.
Oh, good.
Here, let me put this up to a proper working height. You can grab a pan. too bad it's not coolant contaminated.
Massive improvement from the last one.
Yeah, the last one that was full of water. Doesn't smell like fuel. So the question is, does it have piston bits in it? So that'll be the next thing we determine on what the heck are we working on today. Well, sorry about that. The video camera battery went dead and kind of cut us off mid-engine teardown. We did get the engine torn completely down. We did not find any dropped valves. We did not find any damaged pistons yet. When this thing cranked over, I had it cranking over and it sounded like it was pushing air out the intake on 1 or 2 cylinders. So with the miles that are on this truck and the unknown origin of the engine, we decided to pull it out. I have a fresh long block sitting here to drop back in. We will hopefully be putting the new engine back in the truck. We'll probably finish tearing down that other engine at a future time. And then maybe we'll find something, maybe we won't. Either way, the engine, a truck with super high miles, I don't have a problem pulling an engine out, putting in a fresh one, and making sure that the truck's gonna last. So with that, thanks for watching. Click like, subscribe, leave us a comment below. Tell us what you think about these diesel excursions. They made them in gas with the 5.8 and the, what was the V10? It was 6 something, I don't remember. I don't see too many of them, but the V10s definitely have more power. They definitely drink more gas. The diesels, I mean, if you're hauling heavy loads, the diesels work great. They're not efficient when they're unloaded, but they're very efficient when you're running them with heavy loads. That's why we like diesels. So this one's gonna get a new life. We'll see what happens with it once we get the engine back in it, find out what else is wrong with it, because there's always something else. So diesel excursions, what do you think? Let us know in the comments below. Have a safe day. We'll see you on the next one.